One is that we hate the water companies, Thames Water in particular, and there's been a lot of talk about nationalising it, perhaps nationalising all of them as this slow-motion crisis goes on. But isn't that just too expensive? That is what politicians say, but one think tank, Commonwealth, beg to differ. Ewan McGaughey, Professor of Law at King's College London, wrote the report today exploring this very issue. Ewan, first of all, if I have mangled your surname, my apologies. But much more important than that, you think that it wouldn't actually cost the government very much, or indeed anything at all, possibly, to nationalise the water companies. Can you explain in as simple terms as you can why that might be so?
Yes, great to be with you. So the government is relying on a figure from water company lobbyists. They wrote a report in 2018 funded by Anglia Water, Southwest, Severn Trent, United Utilities, saying that water would cost about 90 billion to nationalise. But when you look at what the law says, and that's my field, you see that if you take a water company into public ownership, you only have to pay appropriate value. And that comes down to some case law from the European Court of Human Rights that says a fair balance has to be struck in the public interest if you're taking over assets to provide essential services. And with the water companies, appropriate value is probably much less than market value.
Is that because of their debt? Is that because of their debt? Yeah.
Absolutely. So, just to give Thames Water as an example, the government is repeating figures that they'd need to pay 19.6 billion to take over Thames Water. This is actually a figure that starts with the market value at privatisation in 1990, adds in capital expenditure and multiplies by the retail price index every year since then. Actual market value of Thames Water is probably something more like 4 billion, given the latest bids to take over Thames Water from this private equity group in America called KKR. But actually the cost in law will probably be about zero because so much money has been taken out by shareholders, 10 billion since privatisation, 13 billion taken outside by banks, and 23 billion needed in repairs. So striking that fair balance means that, the water companies wouldn't cost anything to take over.